that's really what this is about. Being here is to witness the sound our heart is making, the flame within. And sometimes, well, not sometimes, the way to hear it is through deep listening.
Funny you should say that. The other day I was showing my son something about meditation on YouTube, and he said meditation is like looking into the fire and just flowing with the flames.
Mhm. Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah, dancing with the flames.
Yeah.
Allowing it
Mhm.
to be what it is.
Mhm.
No matter what we do, we can't control how they move.
Oh,
So Jesse,
yeah.
the true experiment would have been that you would have said this statement to Heinz to see what reaction he gets based on the tone and speed of your words as you had said them to me.
Yeah.
Right? Because when Will says it, he usually has a little chuckle before he says something. So
Well,
that in
what is that
the
automatic?
oh
Hey, there you
yes.
go. There you go.
So with that, that would already telegraph what might be coming.
Yes, yes,
Where
it does. What is
yours
it?
was dead silence, right? For me,
Dead
when you said it
deadpan.
to me, it was dead silence, and it had a flash of like a blind side because it was a you statement, not an I think
Yeah.
or I'm seeing or I'm feeling. It was
No.
a capital YOU statement,
Yes.
right? So it's, we can put wet wood on the fire and we know what happens with that. Or we can
No,
put some green fresh pine on it and see what happens.
Which one was mine?
It was the pine.
Oh, okay. Okay, thanks.
Maybe not
No,
quite so piney, but maybe some cedar. Let's put it that cedar.
it had a lot of sap in it, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
Was mine
yeah.
dripping wet then, or like waterlogged?
Well,
It had some rain. A
Okay.
little bit of sprinkle of rain on it.
yeah. So Will, let's look at so why, Will, why, like, let's look at that for you. What was it?
Why the giggle?
No, like, in the delivery, like, let's just look at the delivery.
I was not delivering from neutrality, is what I'm getting.
Mm. Head or heart?
Yeah, I was delivering from head.
Right. Well,
And head is like, oh, I feel uncomfortable asking this,
that bingo. That's it.
right?
That's it. You were
And so
letting them off. You let them
I'm gonna,
off the hook.
oh wow,
You
I
didn't
didn't
want to
allow
deal with
them
the
to have
conflict.
the experience,
Yep. You
the,
didn't want
the
to deal with
real,
the
authentic. Yeah, yeah.
you didn't want to deal with the conflict. You avoided it.
And how much does that show up in my life? There's a structure,
It's your automatic.
conflict avoidance.
this is not to defend Will, but it's more like what I am. I think you were right, Annette,
Oh,
about the first time. I just hear the words.
Oh, I was on mute.
I really
Well,
don't take anything personally.
yeah. So like, why, Will? So what were you worried about?
uh,
What were
I'm
you afraid of?
not really getting, well, maybe fear of judgment, let's say.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Why
let's
would
say
I
that.
judge?
And he was like the last person to be afraid of judgment.
Mm.
It's Heinz. I don't
Could
find
could
Heinz to be
I
judgmental at all.
could I add something from what I have observed?
Okay.
I would like to be seen, but I only want to be seen in a certain aspect.
Yeah. Wow.
Mm.
There you go. That is so intuitive. Thank you. There's that. Look at me again. And it's still running the show.
Yeah, what I heard is you propose something, right? Say like, oh, we're gonna do this exercise, but Jesse, you want to do it?
Yeah.
Right? So like already, like no judgment here, but like
Yeah.
it already shows like less confidence,
Yes.
right? Because like I'm proposing something and I'm like, hey Heinz, can you do this exercise to this colleague or whatever, right?
What exercise?
So it lack, yeah, no, but it lacks an authority, right? And then you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, that's fine, you know?
Yeah.
Good morning, Kailash.
I love that exercise. It's great.
Yeah, it's good, eh?
It
Morning,
reveals
guys.
so much. It reveals so much.
Yeah. And I am charged. I am definitely charged. So it's good to know.
Me
Take
and
out.
you, same. You know,
You
like
too, eh?
if oh yeah, like someone would say like, oh, you're in charge. Like prior, now like I feel like I'm fitting a bit more in the role, but
Yeah.
like before we like no, not me. Oh, I'm not gonna go first. I'm not gonna go first, right?
Yeah. Or I'm not charged. Like
You know,
defense.
I want to see what other people do, and then I'll tweak
Yeah.
it, right?
Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah. Good point. Then it's not real. It's not authentic.
So I have a question. Is it appropriate to identify if somebody is charged?
Depends on the context, I would say.
Yeah, I would say the same.
Mm.
It depends on why you're saying it.
Or do we say
Depends.
nothing?
Well, it depends if the person think that things happen for them or to them.
Depends on their charge.
So if somebody writes an accusation and it's then based on an assumption and
Yeah.
it's not real.
It's manufactured
Mhm.
by their own unconscious.
Do you just identify it and note it? And what I mean by that is, do you say, okay, if that's what you choose to have a narrative, if that is the narrative you choose to have, I can't change that. Do you say something along that line?
Up to you, Annette.
I guess so,
Yeah.
because it's how we approach it. Do we create another charge?
Yeah. Do we continue that because we know where that leads? Or do we open to a possibility of another choice, a new choice, a different direction?
Yeah, and also depend your delivery, I think, and then like the way you're saying it. Like if I say, Will, what I observed from that conversation is this. There's no judgment, right? It's just
Yeah.
what I observed, right? But if I say, Will, the way you approach that person wasn't right, right? That's my opinion. That's my judgment. You know, like that's
Yeah.
you know, like now, like
That's about bordering a you statement.
yeah. But if I just say, yeah, that's what I saw, you know, those are the facts, or this is what, yeah, I observed, and like there's no to me, there's no charge, right? Like, unless your intention is like, yeah, I'm gonna make them observe this, and then like it's because they were wrong or something like that, right? So the intention behind it too is extremely important.
Mm. Wow. Yeah. And is it coming from a place of serving and neutrality, or is it coming loaded with my own charge, kind of thing?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, you guys can judge me for this one. All right. So here we
Okay.
go.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that right now first.
Thanks, Pascal. Why don't you? Yeah, go ahead.
Welcome, Allison. Welcome to Fireside. Just enjoying the flames right now.
That seemed like a really interesting conversation. I just kind of jumped into the middle of it, but it was really cool to hear you all bouncing off of each other.
Hey, Lash. Good morning. I guess you're in. Yeah. All right. How are you?
I'm not doing so hot at the moment.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So, you're charged.
Yeah.
That is what we were working this morning. So, Pascal, how was my intention?
Well, like I didn't hear like the first part of you guys' conversation. Like, which part you're talking about, or just right now?
My words for today are you're charged. So it was like in the intention of delivering that. Interesting how she accepted it. Wow.
Yeah. Like agreement.
Allowed it.
Mm.
Recognized it. Just like, yeah. Now I may.
I would say like your intention was curiosity.
That's what it felt like.
Mm-hmm. Now that was a different charge than I did with Annette. It was a different tone than I used with Annette.
Can I get a replay?
There is one. Yeah, it'll cost you $5,000.
Just kidding.
Mm.
Oh shit.
I charge
And
you by the minute,
This is
right?
awkward. I don't have that much.
Now you're being charged. Now you're being. You see, you can't get out of the hot seat. I'm not going to let you out of the hot seat. I just had to find it. Had to find your button.
Yes, thank you for that reminder.
Yeah. Financially charged.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's good to know, though. It's like there's a gift in witnessing what comes after that statement, Jesse. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
So let's try it. Allison, is she available? She may be just listening. Perfect.
I can be available. Hi, everybody.
No worries.
Hi, Allison.
Hi, Mom.
Hi,
Hi,
Allison.
Kelly. Hi.
Mhm.
Nice to have you here, Allison.
Mhm.
How was it as a mother hearing me engage with your daughter?
Yeah.
Mm.
At this point in time, I am so proud of Kalis.
Oh,
At this
And-
point. Sorry.
Mm.
And it's not an easy thing for me to, when I say easy, it doesn't, I feel it, but I don't always express that. And I don't express it because I don't know that I've got anything to do with it. And so then I wonder what that pride really is. And I'm not sure that proud is the right word.
Do you
But-
think that? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you can go say.
I'm sorry. I'm just wondering
Mm.
if you think that that concern about whether proud was the right word or pride is the right feeling,
Mm.
if that came up when I expressed frustration with other people expressing pride in me.
No, I think that was
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was, well, I know it was always there.
Okay. That makes sense though. But
Okay,
that's,
good.
yeah, no, but I mean, you're just like, I think that's good. I think it's that you're respecting that I am propelling myself forward, and you recognize that. I think like recognizing the limit in how much of a role you're able to play in that
Yes.
should
Yes.
allow you to also relieve yourself of some of the burden that you carry.
Thank you, honey.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering also about what other words are there other than proud or pride. And what comes to me immediately, but it's not a word, it's more of a phrase, is a feeling of admiration, respect, joy. It's almost like when you watch a kid going from a bicycle to a bike. You know that feeling when you watch them and they take off their training wheels and they manage to do it?
Mm.
That's the feeling that I had just in these few minutes with her talking.
That's so sweet.
Wow.
And I'm so happy that she's got the group and that the group has her.
It's beautiful, Allison.
So does that answer your question, Jesse?
Oh, yeah. Allison, you're charged.
Yes, I am. And what are you going to charge me with, Jesse?
That's why we get along, because that's my automatic for the word charge. Yeah. Guilty, justice, protection. Yeah,
Yes.
that's where I go. And it's a negative space for me when I hear charged.
Yeah.
Now, what's important about that is like when I say that statement, I'm looking for the automatic response, like I'm looking for what it triggers, right? So it's the definition, it's the word charged that you carry around. That definition, right, is going to predict your response.
Yes, it will. That's exactly how a client described it to me.
And so then what we do is we only latch on to that definition of it. And we think of charge. Charged can mean many different things. It's positive, negative, neutral, right? And it's like the word charged can mean guilty, and it can mean excited.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, but we can only pick one. When we put our focus on it, it's like we can only grab onto one of those and work with it. The problem is when we grab onto it and it's too charged, we only run down that path.
And
there's no other
no
other possibilities. Thank you, Allison.
Hey, so sorry on that note, like I gotta leave you guys.
Yeah.
We're about to
Pascal.
go.
Ciao.
Thank you for being here, Pascal.
Yeah. Have a great day, guys. Love you all.
You too, man.
Good to
Love
hear
you
what you had to
too.
say.
Yeah, for me, the word charge was exactly the way that my client described it. And, I've been working with her for quite some time. But when she got it, she really got it. And her, so we worked it in the one session, not all that long, just a little bit, pointed it out again. And then it was like it had been heard and integrated up to a point, and then all of a sudden it synced in. Everything aligned within her in the word. And the next week she started the session off with, wow, how effective is that word charge? And then she said, it's such a shortcut for me. And I don't know that I had ever expressed that to her. I'd always said, it's very useful and kind of much more gentle in my description of it. And she just came in to the session like this powerhouse and gave me examples of where she caught herself and been able to say to herself, just retreat a little, give yourself more space, so she got that. It's an extremely useful concept to work with. And when you said, if the charge is too high, you're only going to go down one avenue. That's like going down a rabbit hole. And what comes up for me again and again with all of this work is, if you grasp at anything, you're going to break it. But if you can hold it with an open hand that is stable and secure enough, you give it enough space. And that space is needed for integration. And even if you do go down a rabbit hole, if you can recall and say to yourself, I've gone down a rabbit hole. What am I going to do about it? Sometimes going down a rabbit hole is good, it gives you information, but you just need the awareness, right? So we go right back to the awareness of what it is that you have somehow brought to yourself in your perception of what you might have experienced in the past, and how you might be able to then see the past in a very different way. And as you do that over and over again, your experience begins to change. And that's a long process. But if you keep on being able to have shortcuts in that process, the experience of going through it becomes different.
And so, and it's like in the awareness, it's like in the awareness is that instant answer. So the statement, you're charged, there's something is triggered inside. Now what we do with it and say with it goes through the filter. That filter we edit it. It's edited to be an appropriate response. What I'm really interested in is that initial, right? That urge, that instant answer, because that is where it all lies.
Mm. That's where your work lies, right?
It's in that space between this, it's in the transition from the speaker to the speaker.
Mhm.
This is sorry, I just want to jump in and say a couple of short things. First of all, I do want to just emphasize that I am very grateful to be here and to be able to join you guys in the mornings. It's made a really big impact on my life, and I'm really grateful to you, Jesse, for having me here. Also, thank you for laying that out like that, Mom. That was really, really helpful. I haven't, yeah, that was just so clear. And I don't know if it's just because I'm used to hearing you describe things in a certain way that it translated so easily, but I really liked, I think you just said a lot of little things that you've said to me at different times all together. And then also what Jesse said as a response, I thought was pretty funny, because I'm kind of the ideal candidate for what you're interested in right now, because what I'm struggling with is that my editing software does not seem to be present.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. That's all.
And that has a different implication, right?
I'm not loving it.
I know.
I'm sure it's a lot for others.
Yeah, but it's not too much in the group.
Well, thank you.
So this is where it can get worked with.
Mm-hmm.
And you haven't been here over the years, but that's how I got to where I got to.
Isn't that amazing, Allison, how you have a long career path of exploration, and I'm sure you've had many breakthroughs, and because you're a fountain of wisdom and knowledge, and then you come to this group and it's like there's a new level of breakthroughs.
Well, yeah,
About that.
because life happens in between, and there's all kinds of shit that you've got to clear up, right?
Oh, yeah. So, well, there's a mountain of shit to clear up. It's just like I'm drowning in it, So yeah.
Well, when I went to look for a notebook for myself for the move, because I still sometimes like to use paper.
Yeah.
You know how you get those notebooks with sayings on the front?
Oh, okay.
And I saw it and I thought, I don't know if I can do that. And then I looked at the others, and then I thought to myself, what do you mean, you idiot? You don't have to know to do it. You're just going to do it. And the saying on the front of the book was, I can move mountains.
Wow.
There's still got a lot to move.
Oh boy, it's amazing. You do so much work, and then in a split second you realize, oh wow, I've got work for the rest of my life. But okay.
Yes, it is, because as you work, to use your word, I think that you used earlier, you find different gems.
Yes.
But I'm going to say this. My experience of the group and why I have been here is because for me it is very different to a therapy group. And the difference is the silence, the use of the silence, to learn how to use that.
Yes.
And give your body the chance. And the more you give yourself the chance not to respond immediately to something, the more your body knows that it can relax and integrate first before it responds. And that is key for me to growth, because there's something different that comes to you in that silence than what it would in the talking. And for each person, it's different.
So what I recognize for myself with that, because we have been doing this for a couple of years here, that one can observe it as a fixing, as a tweaking, or as a creating. And there's different energies required for either or, if you want to put it that way.
Yes.
Or there's another one that you can sit in the middle of neutral. I call it the sling, and just observe. And when you observe, you don't need a lot of energy to move either way. When you're in that third position of in between. And it's a lot less energy to then go either way and do either one than to do an about face and do either the fixing or the creating.
Mm.
But the end result is different. What I have observed, if you fix, you'll be fixing all the time.
Mm.
If you create, you step into something different.
Yes.
You can rewire and you can be a different person in certain aspects, or you can continue to fix and fix. Anyways, that's just my
Yeah.
experience.
Because
Thank
where's the
you.
power?
That's really helpful too. Annette,
And
thank you.
there's nothing wrong in sitting in what I call the sling, that where, you know, when you're tied between two trees and you're in a sling, you're just hanging there.
Yeah.
You can rest there in your life and observe. And as you know, when you're in a sling, all you have to do is move the body weight one way and you're going to go the one direction. And the same is with creating. You only need a little bit of energy to start moving that way. And it's a lot less than trying to do an about face.
And if you're to use like the creek or the river metaphor, what you're choosing could be likened to something downstream. And I'm upstream from it. So am I going to fight it and swim upstream and logic my way through it? Or is the possibility available I could relax into the flow and be open to possibility and flow effortlessly to the choice downstream, because downstream is gravity and that result is pulling me toward it. It's an inevitability. I just have to get into alignment with it and it will flow. I will flow. And I'm not trying to force it. I just relax into it.
And then you get to another point where I see Jessie being at.
Yeah.
And that point is where you start to feel not only your own quiet, but you start to feel and attune in to what the group's charge is. And then you start to choose which charge is going to be the more useful one. To expand or redirect. And when you're in a group like this, you watch how people come in and do that individually on their own, and then how the group starts to flow with that.
Yes.
So there are these multiple layers taking place. I loved Annette's description of sitting back in the sling.
It often feels like the silence discharges your own charge.
Wonderful, Hans.
Then it creates awareness afterwards.
That's been my experience too.
I realize my word of the day through all this is gift or gifts. There's gifts in the awareness, in the silence. The gifts are there in your day. It's like, am I aware of them? Am I noticing them? Am I noticing the gift in silence, the gift that you guys bring to the silence, to the morning, to the group? Yeah. Welcome back.
Thank you. I had an update on my phone, and now every time I get a phone call, it kicks me right. It closes the Zoom while it's ringing. While it's ringing.
You are charged, Annette.
I guess so.
And then the giggle, eh?
Yeah.
It's like the acceptance of what is.
Mhm.
There's another word that Jessie loved right in the beginning. Jess, do you remember this? And it was being the conductor. And that image of us each being our own conductor of the orchestra of our bodies. It's a very useful and expansive image. You imagine yourself being a conductor.
No, I had two images of conductor. The first one that came to me was like a train conductor, getting all aspects on board and then moving forward as a train would move forward.
Yeah.
And then I thought, oh, but there's also a conductor where it's like a conductor of a symphony, where you have many parts spread in front of you and they're all working together.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a different one. I got the conductor in the electric circuit because we're talking about charge.
Oh, nice one, Heinz.
And that's the beauty of asking, what does that word mean for you?
Yeah.
Because it's like, and then what we can do is we can share, like I did, like charge, like I shared, like, oh, charge triggers me to justice, right? To ultimately right or wrong. That's where charged, like you're charged, you're guilty. I'm charging you with guilt. It's like, oh, and it's like, so when I hear, it's like, oh, and it's like, yes, those are all the other ways that I could see they're attached to that word. And it it releases that that fixedness, that attachment, so it becomes our anchor. Now, what I mean by an anchor, right? An anchor is something, it changes the chemical reactions,
Mm.
the automatics. It's a resetting, a reset, resetting our charge. So that's what a conductor does. It resets the charge.
Mm.
Wow. It's like our body is a conductor of this energy that some may call superconscious, but it's this flow of energy through the conductor, our body. And it's how we direct the energy, the flow of the energy, or the flow of the electrons, however you want to call it, that creates the result, the outcome. And if there is a desire within the field that wants to flow through someone, will we be the conductor to guide that into a creation?
And are you going to guide yours into a creation?
Yes.
And that
Yes, I am.
Or will you let the charge create the automatic to take the control?
very nice, Heinz.
Thank you.
Oh, we are on fire today.
Oh, heart's on fire, eh?
Yeah.
What a gift, Jesse, for starting the day like that. Just making the statement and then asking the questions and exploring, inquiring.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this, the richness of this experience and conversation that we've enjoyed this morning. Like, we've done a lot of work already, started the day off with a bang.
It has potential for a movement.
Yes.
Sorry.
I already
The
had
word
that
movement.
this morning.
Yeah, that was what I thought. I was thinking
Yeah.
about young guns too. I need to have a movement.
Already did. Anyways, enough of that. The inner children are coming out to play.
Yeah.
So I 2 nights ago, right? I was like, what's next?
Yeah.
What's next with Fireside?
Yeah.
2 years is completing, a third is starting.
Yeah.
And every day we count the days, it becomes part of the Fibonacci sequence. And so we're circling back around it. What our learning has been every day, we're circling back around it for a third time. Fibonacci.
Well, I think I have the feeling that it's already taking a new course. Ever since you changed the word to fireside, the conversations have changed a lot.
Mhm. And so it was like, damn, stop saying that. So there's my automatic is it's like.
Mm.
So I went to sleep asking that question. It didn't show up until the next afternoon.
Mm.
The answer, and the answer just like I explored an idea, and then it was like, full, you're charged. It's like there it is.
Yeah.
And what's so simple about it is that it reveals everything we work in that transition from speaker to speaker, listener to listener, speaker to listener, listener to speaker. And those who have the intention can conduct it with others. And what we're conducting is just awareness. Awareness to our fixedness, which is right to our meaning, you know, and it brings forth the emotion. It's like secondary, it brings up, so we look at the definition and the emotion that we are attaching to it. It has us begin to see space, and it is, and then it's, how do we find the space that's like, oh, that's my automatic? What's my intuition? What's my heart? And then we can say, do I like my automatic? Do I like what I'm automatically doing? Because if I'm not aware of it, I step right over it and continue going.
Mm.
Breakthrough Masters. If Fireside's about creating breakthrough masters, I don't know if it is or isn't.
We're creating masters of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And that's true mastery.
Like, I don't know what else to master. And I
Exactly.
don't like, not to control master, because we can think of mastery as a control, and it's like, no, not as a control or domination, just a exploring mastery,
Mhm.
when we admire a master of their art.
Yeah, there's mastery is for me anyways, mastery is a measurement of levels that you create within yourself based on your own definitions. And so, you know, there's different levels to mastery, and you know, you start off as a beginner, you're starting something, and then you become a novice and you measure it yourself based on your own definitions. So no one can tell you you're a master or not. They might have their own opinions, but it depends on, you know, that's your own inner exploration of mastery. So you might start off as novice, then move to apprentice, and then adept, then expert, and then master. And then as you master things, your legacy turns into it turns into a legacy, and you become kind of legend, you know, like all these authors like Joseph Campbell, you know, like there's a legend. So
Well,
like
often,
go ahead.
often the true masters don't see themselves as masters. They asked Bruce Lee if he was a master, and he said, "No, I'm just a practitioner." Then they asked Chuck Norris if Bruce Lee was a master. Yes, he is a master.
Of course.
Master is something other people recognize within you.
Yeah, and you master the self.
Yeah.
And the self can only really ever be teachable, and if we're not teachable,
Humble. If it's humble.
yeah, humble. Oh, Mona, welcome to Fireside.
Mona?
Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Awesome.
You're charged.
Yeah, it's raining today, and I'm driving, so I'm definitely charged.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's the first time I heard any one of you would have said, yeah, I'm charged. Just
Yeah.
agreeing.
Well, Kailash and Ellison both had the same response.
Not so direct.
Hmm.
I definitely am charged. I love it.
So it's like, what? Good morning, Mona.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Everybody sounds good. You sound charged as well.
Hmm. I am.
I love it. I love it, Mona. Thank you.
But it's like, what are all the flavors charged can take?
My flavor is kiwi strawberry.
Mm.
I don't think you're charged, Mona. I believe you're more in the neutral, joking around.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does sound great.
Yeah.
You sound happy, Mona. You sound very bubbly today. Love it.
I am. Something has been happening that I've been really grateful for.
Mm.
Care to share?
Sure. I talked recently about having a candid conversation with somebody. And some of the content of the things that they talk about has been deleted from their conversation, and it's been wonderful
Mm.
because it was causing me stress. And I was at a point where I really didn't want to talk to them. It was like, okay, hold your breath, just listen and don't get triggered.
Mm.
And it's not like that anymore, at least for a while. We'll see if the pattern shows back up.
As you're changing your energy, they just feel into that. So you've created it.
Great observation, Hans.
So how's everybody else's charging panning out? What color are they?
Mm.
Oh, we went through justice, like being right. We saw defensive. We saw accepting, allowing, embracing. We've seen all flavors
Neutral.
of it this morning.
Color, I would go periwinkle.
Right?
Mm.
Isn't that a person, another color?
What?
Didn't
The
even know
name
that
you
was a
said.
color.
I didn't know that was a color. I thought it was a person. Perry Winkle.
Oh, yeah, fair. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. He's not here with me though.
Or is he? Perry. Huh. Hey, Perry. Mr. Winkle.
What's your color, Mona?
Oh, my color, I would have to say, would probably be fuchsia.
Oh, how lovely. What a great combination. Periwinkle and fuchsia. And mine is purple. Oh, it was. And usually when you ask color, purple came.
Since I'm so present as I am, I'm often very blank.
Blank slate, Hans.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That allows for creation.
Yep.
I'm charged. So, got the flame color. So I don't know, the flame red, maybe. Yeah, Let's go with that.
Ooh.
On fire. Or orange or
When you say
whatever
that
a
word,
flame. Yeah.
I imagine yellows, blues, and oranges going along with that.
Cool. Yeah, it's
Mm.
just like the flame, the color of the flame. That's how I'm feeling today. On fire. Like, let's go. Any other colors, people?
Mine would be a soft yellow.
That sounds warm and inviting.
Mm.
It's cozy. Very cozy.
Hi, G.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Chi. Good to have you with us again.
Good to be here.
Mhm.
Good
So
morning.
the charge I get from you, Chi, good morning, is gathering power, building the foundation. It's like arms
Yes,
arms wide open.
yes,
There it is.
yes, absolutely. Yeah. It's yes. To have this opportunity to have this space is that's an amazing thing. Yeah.
I
So.
reciprocate, arms wide open. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Ready to engage with the possibilities.
Mhm. Thank you, Heinz.
Hey, Chi, welcome, Chi.
Thank you. Well,
You made it.
yeah. I just got off my work.
Oh, nice.
1.5 hour work. Yeah.
Well, that's not bad.
No, not.
Well, his work is about quality, not quantity.
Very nice. That's the best kind of work there is.
Yep.
I'm a caretaker, taking care of a kid, 15-year-old
Oh,
kid. Yeah.
15?
15 years.
Okay. Very
Yeah.
nice.
Just
That's
have some
beautiful,
quality
Chi.
time. Yeah.
That's a
Oh,
gift you're giving.
yeah, and I get to receive gift too. To
Yeah, it's like
interacting.
Allison.
Yeah.
It's like Allison said. You both get to receive and give, or also in her line of work.
Mm.
When you're working with people, you're gonna be open for both things, student and
Yeah.
master, master and student.
Yeah. Like the learnings that the so-called master receives from the student are a beautiful gift,
Mm.
and vice versa.
Yeah.
Always be the student, eh? Maybe yes.
Yeah. There's always opportunity to learn and grow. in all our relations. Hope I didn't interrupt something.
No.
No, we're just exploring this morning.
There was a lot of commotion earlier, and I was actually keen because everyone was talking so much more than I was used to hearing. Because often I come in and I feel like, I just bubble up and talk. As we all need to sometimes. But I was so excited to see if you were here for it, and I saw that you weren't. So I'm happy that you're here now, Chi, and I'm sorry that I have less to say. But I'd love to hear anything you have to say.
Yeah.
Funny how it's not always easy for the ego aspect of us to just be quiet and listen in the silence. It's hard, I find, for that aspect of myself, but there's so many gifts within the silence. There's so many learnings when we listen. And not that you have to. Nobody has to do anything.
I have a question, or like a prompt.
Sure.
Maybe. It was something that came up I've been watching House recently. And there was something that he said in an episode I watched last night. And I just wonder if anyone could like expand their thoughts around, which is the idea of wanting to feel bad, because if you feel guilty, you've guaranteed that you're not a psychopath if you've done something bad. I mean, this is an extreme version, right? That's the line in the show. He says, yeah, a psychopath is an extreme kind of reaction. But the idea of, if you feel a realization, when you see that give and take that happens in all stages of all different kinds of relationships, right? When you see that you've played a negative role without having intended so, and you try to reckon with that, what is that process of engaging with the guilt looked like? Or how would you frame that in the ways that we've been talking without saying any of the exact sentences that have been said so far today?
You're engaging with yourself. That's called self-realization. A psychopath wouldn't engage with themselves. A sociopath wouldn't either, because they have no self-realization.
Well, but how do you engage with yourself?
By feeling.
Feeling. Geez, that's hard though. Holy. Takes so much energy. I can't just like prompt it. I have to do a whole bunch of things in order for the feelings to come up. It's like, man.
Well, hit your finger and you'll feel pain.
Oh dear.
Well, that's a dangerous path.
Well, you said you wanted to feel. I just gave you a shortcut.
Yeah. Hey, you're not wrong.
It was just an extreme shortcut.
Yeah.
Come on over.
Sorry?
Nothing. I'm sorry. I was kind of talking out loud to myself. I forgot that my mic was open.
Oh, that's okay. That's good. You're busy self-realizing.
Yeah. And that gave a feeling of joy.
Yeah.
Yeah, back to what Kailash talking about. We have to, always leave the space open for wonder, for exploration, for
Mm, love that.
I feel that, that, yeah, we can get stuck in our thoughts, on wrong and right and good and bad. And so the way is to reconnect with our feelings and ask, how does it feel? What kind of feeling do we choose rather than what thoughts?
I had the same thought, she to Kate
Yeah,
to
that's really
Kailash.
interesting.
It's like we can have feelings and we can have thoughts, and our skill is to pull them apart.
If you've done something bad and you're thinking about it, then you're trying to excuse yourself. If you're feeling bad about it, then you're dealing with it.
Really? So what if I'm feeling bad about it without thinking about it?
Then you're dealing with it. You just need to figure out what's the question to the answer you're seeking.
But then you start thinking about it. So
Ah,
Well,
that.
it's a very fine line between thinking and with your heart and your head.
I
It
think we
is.
also
Speak a
remember
different language.
If you're judging it, it's your head. If you're dealing with it, it's your heart thinking. Your heart have its own way of thinking.
Yes.
It's without
And
a
I think
filter.
the question why, why we're doing certain things or why we are reacting on it helps you, to ask why we're doing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What
Why
does it
do I
what does
feel
it serve?
bad?
Yeah.
It's called questioning the questionnaire. The questionnaire is the head, but question that question then.
I have another shortcut.
Mm.
Mm.
Let the body process.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The body will give it to you.
Yes.
you make it sound so easy.
It takes
Oh, no.
patience.
Oh no, it's not.
Well,
It's
that's
not.
what I'm struggling with. Sorry, I'm quite frustrated.
Simple, Kailash. Simple,
Mm.
simple.
Not easy.
What's easy is what you've always done.
Yeah.
Automatic.
The automatic is the easy one. It's not
Yeah.
pausing, going into and asking. Like, pull apart your charge.
What is it?
Which means name it, call it, define it. It's like, oh, it is this because that's the first thing to release it. It's the
I
start
don't
of the release.
wait. I don't understand. I need an example of someone naming a charge and then having that experience.
Okay.
Well, can I go? Sorry.
Yes, go. Go, Will.
Because I have so
Go,
much
Will.
charge. It's not even funny.
Oh, will.
I will. My charge is even that term charge has charge for me. Like I get my back up when I hear the word charge because I am charged because it's an anchor for trauma, for resentment, for anger. And so of course I'm charged. Does that make sense, Kailash?
That does, I mean, what you said makes sense. I don't know that it was necessarily directly addresses the question that I have in terms of like Jesse's kind of counsel on it. Like, I think that the idea, I do find it very interesting, the idea of charge being an anchor for those things and realizing that that charge is there because those things need something to anchor to, which means that they are there. And so acknowledgement of them is necessary in order to unanchor them or like loosen their hold.
So
I'm aware.
let me time
Yeah,
out this
please,
for a second.
Jesse.
So
Thank you.
Kailash, how do you let things go?
Um,
Bingo. So
Yeah.
you're comparing what we're talking about to like a concept that's foreign.
Wait, what?
It's new to you.
Yeah, you
I'm
didn't have an answer of how to let things go.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, now I'm not judging. It's like, well, then maybe you don't know how.
Yeah.
Great.
I mean, I don't. Like, I mean, I just feel like it's, they just move through me.
Great. Yeah, there you go. Not attaching
That's
to them.
amazing.
Not attaching to them. Yes,
Well,
so
so
it's just
then
let it flow through. And
I
that
guess
only
like I feel like there must be something. It's sometimes I feel like there's something that isn't moving through, but I don't know how to. I mean, like I said previously, right, doing yoga helped me to like allow myself to realize some of the things that I was holding. But because of my like reduced energy and just struggle with motivation lately, I'm finding like my usual paths to prompt that aren't coming naturally. And a big one, which I realized yesterday actually, like I really love meeting people. I really love getting to know new people and kind of jumping into um, as open of conversation as they'll allow. And I've had a pretty good time of it. And I feel like all of a sudden I have completely lost my charm, and it is now only a stressful experience and no longer helps me to realize um, things as easily as before, except in this context, which is pretty special. So I guess being here, I don't know.
what does your heart say?
Um, I'm just grieving. Like yeah, I think I'm just very sad at the moment.
Oh my God, do we see the difference between the two? Those two answers. Do you see the difference between those two answers? Completely different places they came from. Which one was like attractive? Like which one was seductive? It was like not the first one, because the first one was all your thinking.
Yeah.
But your heart, like when you paused and really looked inside you for your answer,
Yeah.
could you kind of let that first one go, that first answer go then? And like, no, this is my truth.
Yeah, pretty easily.
There's your easy.
Yeah.
So you already know how to do it. It's just not part of the automatic in your life.
I thought you said the easy was automatic.
The automatic is the
The
easy,
automatic.
yes.
I see. I see.
It's the simple that's doing it. Simple and easy are two different things.
Yeah, yeah. It's like it's not necessarily that it was like it's not necessarily that it was an easy thing to do, but it was like once I did it, I let go of the other with ease.
Mm.
It's a great description. That's for me, that's really accurate awareness of the different layers of a process.
Yeah, thanks, Jesse. So for me, listening to this and observing it, Kayla, this is kind of the concept of sitting in that sling, some between fixing and creating.
Mm.
Because you're neutral, you're letting everything come to you, you're letting your body process it, and you're giving it time. You're not forcing anything. That's the key. When you're in neutral, there's no force. And in Jesse's case, when he went to bed with a question. There was no force. I need to have an answer when I wake up. It popped into his into his vision or into his mind at the most unpredictable time with an answer that he totally wasn't prepared for.
And knew it was the answer.
Yeah.
Yes. It just felt good.
Divine
And
timing.
your brain didn't have to tell you that because your body was telling you this feels good.
I mean, it's interesting
Yes,
though, like, sorry, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, as your heart gets the answer, it
Yeah.
releases the question in the brain.
Mm. Yeah, it's interesting, like, you talk about like the lack of force, but then an aspect of what I'm struggling with is like when I am too busy dealing with my head, um, and preoccupied with my automatics, like my body takes charge in also automatic ways, which are not really good for me. You know, I didn't actually sleep last night,
Mm.
and I associate, the release of that emotion and that like connection with my heart with that like the compassion that I allow myself when I'm exhausted, and I'm trying to like why yeah, I mean, I don't guess it doesn't help to think about. I mean, you just said that I should think about why. I feel
Yeah,
like it doesn't help to think about why I haven't been able to do it before being exhausted. Just do it as much as I can.
yes,
I
because
don't
it's a
know.
cycle. It's a cycle of I want the answer and I want it now. I want to feel
Yeah.
better and I want to do it now. That's the force.
Yeah.
That's the forceful part of it.
Yeah.
Good
And
cat.
as you're not sleeping, your
Yeah.
brain gets foggy, which means the heart takes over more and more.
Yeah. Funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my poor brain, really needs help right now. Like, it does need some attention.
No, it's just
I
that
am gonna
child
need it.
seeking attention. It's just seeking attention. If you give it, you're gonna give away your power again.
That's one way of
Big,
looking at it. But
the
another
biggest
way of
thing.
looking at that would be that the rest is longer than what you're used to having. The rest needed
Mm.
is longer than what you're used to having.
The
And
other part is,
sometimes, sorry, Annette, go.
I was going to say, the other part is allowing the body to control and not having the mind control.
Yeah.
Sorry, Elsa.
No, that was perfect. Thank you.
We've all conditioned ourselves to listen to the thinking, rational mind. So we can say that that's all of our coordinates, starting coordinates.
Mm.
We
A
can just
blue jay just landed in front of me. I just wanted to share that with everyone because holy
Wow.
moly. So
and
beautiful.
Boom.
what
There you
does
go.
that
There's the heart.
mean?
There's the
What
heart.
does
Yeah.
That's nice. Sorry, what were you saying, Jesse?
and what does that mean to you?
What does which mean?
The blue jay.
Oh, the blue jay? It's like I actually do feel like I have a sense of a lot of meaning whenever I find myself close to another uh animal, by chance, like a wild animal. I always feel like it's like a reminder that I'm like a part of a system and that like there are things that are wandering around the same way that I am that I can't communicate with. Like we can't understand each other, so ways that we struggle to understand ourselves.
And what's the feeling?
It's like looking right into the fire, it's like seeing the cave in the center of a fire, like seeing all the magic that's happening there. It's like, wow, life is happening.
That's beautiful.
Exactly. That's the feeling. It's wow, that's beautiful. Yeah, it like reminds me that I am, living alive. A creature. My therapist didn't like that I used the word creature to describe myself, but I like it. She's kind of right. It's a bit othering, just that you're an animal.
Aren't we?
Yeah, no, we are. It's kind of a comforting thought for some reason. Like why is that comforting? Like how did you go and forget that, But yeah.
Great. Yeah, I mean we are animals,
Yeah,
just like any other animal. And
exactly. Well, I feel like a part of what's nice about that is that, like, learning about animals and watching nature documentaries, you see, like, beyond the, glorified human mind, there's all of these things that go into what you experience and how you navigate it
Yes.
that are just necessary and fundamental. And that's reassuring, because you can, I can start to feel like I'm creating my experience. And then I think, well, why am I doing this?
That's
But
so
I'm
cool.
like existing in this way larger framework and with this very complicated structure of biology. you know, I'm
Aren't we
just
creating our
experiencing it.
experience?
Yeah. Well said, Kailash. It's just so cool.
What was
Thank you.
that? Was that Heinz?
Yeah,
Yeah.
aren't we creating our own experience?
Yeah.
If you choose to be afraid of the water, then you'll be afraid of it. If you choose to go swim in it, then you go enjoy yourself. Possibilities.
Mhm.
It's all about the choice.
Yeah. Also accepting that you have automatics,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah.
And
Like,
and they performed a
Good.
very important function, which is why
Yeah.
they became an automatic.
Yeah. And like, knowing that you can make that choice when you notice it is awesome, but it's very difficult once you see that to not feel frustration with all of the time that you don't.
So this
I
is
think
where,
that
sorry, go
Yeah.
Hans.
No, Chi.
Was it Chi? Okay, sorry, Chi, you go, please.
Yeah, I'll make it quick. I feel that we are animals, yeah, but at the same time, we are not. We can learn a lot from the animals because they are more whole. They're not living in shame, blame, guilt, and fear. You know, that's why they're more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a big difference between us and the animals.
Yeah.
When we look at
That's
the animal,
why we get stuck, you know, with when we're beating
when you
ourselves up.
when you look at the
That's
animal,
I mean, I don't know.
see them be careful the first time, and then it just becomes their automatic. That's what we are doing here. We are training our automatic, so we are not changing who we are. We are changing our automatic.
Yeah.
So then we redirect what we can become.
Yep.
It's uncomfortable to be in that shift while like navigating such a variety of relationships. I'm just finding social engagement so much more difficult. Like I get lost in, I notice, like I had a conversation with some housemates, not really housemates, like neighbors last night. I came home and they were having a Halloween party and they're in school, you know, at university, and I could see everyone like making their first impression and navigating the social stuff. And I was like, I don't know how to care about this anymore. Which is like fine, but I don't know really how it comes off because I spent a lot of time before like trying to understand and kind of, you know, control what other people would experience of me. And now I'm realizing that I don't really have much of a say and I don't really have much of an understanding outside of what they share with me. And even then, I don't know what that means to them. But it's uncomfortable to feel that that disconnect so loud with new people. But I don't know, that's just me thinking. I'm just blah 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 blah. Whatever.
Blah 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 is
Often,
never
often,
ending loop.
often as you raise your frequency, you become aware of the old automatics, and that'll often feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that maybe was it. I found myself like, you know, telling a story because they were asking me questions and I was just answering in the ways that feel like normal, but I was like, this doesn't feel like right. Um, yeah, interesting. Stories are so useful, you know, but it's like I think they can probably be used much more, definitely be used much more effectively and profoundly than like we use them in our getting to know each other
experience generally. Obviously, there is used to telling people, you know, the answers to the basic get to know you questions that exist in new neighbors or dates or anything like that. But, and I'm guilty as well, like, right? I'm asking questions that aren't leading to the kinds of conversations that I want to have.
That's great awareness.
Mm. Rather talk about your feelings than your thoughts.
Yeah.
The thoughts are just old patterns.
And then the thought comes in and start judging you, and then you get confused.
Mm. It's interesting also reflecting on this, like my friendships have changed a lot in the last couple of years. And especially like the relationships that I'm closest in. And looking back, like before, there was a point where my best friend and I would just update each other on all of the like how the plots of our lives had changed since we'd last spoken. And now when I go to see my best friend, you know, or just like, you know, one of my chosen family people who I am in contact with actively, like I just realized, you know, we spend a lot of our time in silence and I and I thought that maybe that was like a strange thing. And I'm just now seeing that you're talking about how important it is and that we explore that in this setting.
Mm.
So that's cool.
Best way that our thoughts can surface is when it's at ease, when it's in peace.
Yeah.
To avoid, negative thinking, judging ourselves, blaming ourselves.
Yeah.
Be aware of how to show up.
That's often what the silence does. It gives you a peace of mind.
Mm-hmm. Yes. It's a practice, yeah.
Yep.
But it's nice to have this place where we can show up as, you know, open, loving, supporting, listening. You know.
It sure is. And creating, hey, Chi.
Yeah. Looking at explore, finding solutions rather than, you know, focusing on the problems.
Mm.
So I'd like to say something to Kai.
Mm.
So a lot of what I was hearing was being in the space of, I don't know. So I'll share something with you in terms of my experience of it. That it always used to be, if I don't know, more often than not, it would mean I'm going to get into trouble here because I didn't pay attention before to I don't know.
Yeah.
So then I would start to do the blah, 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 blah. And it would be fear-based.
I actually can't think of
Examples of that.
for yourself.
Yeah.
That's amazing. It's taken me a lifetime to change that.
For me, it's more about timing.
Mm.
It's all about like being in a rush. Like I can see that in the I don't know of like I don't know how to, not like I don't know in the answer to a question,
Mm.
more like I don't know how to meet this expectation. And I don't know what the expectation is that I'm supposed to be meeting.
Mm.
That's almost a double ego, because your ego is creating what the other should expect of you.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, as a kid, you do that, right, Hans? Because you need,
Yeah.
you know, you don't have the power as a child, right?
Oh, that's why one of the worst things you can say to a child, go over and be ashamed of yourself. Like a kid knows what it is to be ashamed of itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, terrible.
How do
You're
you
forcing an
know?
emotion they don't know.
Yeah. Not that I have had too much of this trouble, but like because I'm teaching, I'm sorry, I know we're also at the
Top
the
of the
end of
hour.
our meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, top of the hour. Anyway, I guess I'll just pose it. How you know when, like which feelings or concepts are out of the range of a child at which stage in their development? Like how do you know what they can make sense of?
Mm.
Like I don't understand where those different things happen, even having done them.
Mm.
You know, that's kind of
It's
a freaky thing to me.
Yeah, well, it is a difficult one because kids develop in different ways, and the subtleties in which they can grasp things are different.
Mm.
I mean, for me, although I forget it a lot, it's a lot about, that's the use of developmental psychology for me, because it does it addresses the growth of the brain, right? And when we are ready for integration and when we're not.
But surely we have some instincts around it because so many people parent without studying developmental psychology.
Yeah.
Well, instead of telling the child how to feel, ask it.
Ask them. Yeah.
How do you feel about what you've done? Then you know
Yeah.
their emotional state.
Yeah.
Exactly, Heinz.
Right.
Very,
if they'll share it
very
with you.
good. Yeah.
But
But
you're
Heinz,
totally right.
But Heinz, that would take an enlightened parent.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Oh no, I'm not saying that parents get it right.
That would take wisdom.
But since she's a teacher, she's there to teach.
Yeah, I'm not parenting, luckily.
Yeah.
I mean, not to say it's not lucky to parent, but
it's a whole different aspect to being human.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you for such
Kailash.
I'm
helpful
also gonna
morning.
go.
Thank you, Allison. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, have a beautiful day and
Yeah.
evening.
You all have a blessed day. Love and hugs.
Yay.
Love and hugs.
We'll see you next
Bye,
time,
all.
friends.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for the gift there, Jesse, of the way you opened today.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Thank you.
My-
Thanks. I want to do
my word is-
experiments with it.
Sorry, I was just going to say my word is gift. for today.
Gift.
The
Thank you.
gift of the awareness.
Thank you.
Mine was awareness.
Hmm. Great. Well, thank you all. Have a great day. Until next time.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Love and hugs.
Bye. Love and hugs.
Thank you all. Bye bye.
Bye, Chi.
Bye, Jesse.